blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the words I spit. So sharp, so freezing, so cold. Behold, frostbite they feeling. I could tear you apart or I could go heal them. Don't believe in fate, don't believe in ceilings. I just need a taste and my mind starts peeling. I don't pace myself, I grind on kneeling. Got lust for change, I just love the feeling. I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. And I ain't gonna give up. Got too little time, I'ma live up. Head down, push forward through the tough times. Cause anything worth doing is a tough climb. Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have...
Hi, everybody. How are you doing? I'm so excited for you to join me in my first live stream. Before I get started, I want to thank Jess from How to Rule an Asteroid, who actually put together my intro video. So please follow her. She does amazing work. Um, I just want to say that. So thank you, Jess, for your help. Now I'm going to bring on my guest, my good friend.
Hi,
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I didn't think of any person that I would want it more in my first live stream besides you. You
Thank you,
always was
Kelly.
going to be my first guest.
You know
Um,
it's always much love to you as well. Thank you.
yes. Yeah. So what we want to discuss is the discrimination of the diversity in the atheist community, and how sometimes it's sad, but even though we have left religion, we still get some of the dogma and the ideology of what it feels like to be in that space still by some, people and things like that. So, but first, before we start, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Jezebel, and I always say, um, all religion till no religion. And uh, my passion is to make sure that I address and dismantle one pulpit at a time. If anything that we say or do can make an impact in today's world, it is making sure that religion understands that there are those of us who have walked away because of their bad behaviors. In a nutshell.
That's Yeah, that's a great thing. So, um, without going into real deep detail, what sparked you, or what was a trigger to make you realize that religion wasn't right? Is something that sparked you that like
Well,
it's not
27
real?
years ago, I escaped a high controlled religion or a cult, is how I refer to it. I was born and raised as a Christian nationalist, as it's known today. And I found myself 27 years ago going through the process of deconstructing, living in a world outside of cult um, ideologies and the way they taught us and indoctrinated us. But then over time, I tried other churches and I went to other services and I explored other denominations and realized that every one of them had like this common thread. And when I started asking questions, I started getting pushback. And when I realized that I have a voice, and I discovered my voice, and that nobody can like stop my voice from asking questions, then when they could not answer the questions that I had, I would go to individuals that were non-believers or atheists and would ask them the same questions, and they would be able to give me verses or give me books to read or give me literature to go to and research. And the more I researched, the less I believed. And I would say by the time I was 37, between 37 and 40, I was completely deconstructed. However, for my Christian friends, I've always called myself secular humanist. I was a secular humanist atheist. But then over time, I realized that a humanist is who I am. But I am a proud, feral, atheist woman who is a humanist. So that is how I come to where I am today.
Yes. It seemed like automatically that we clicked because we had a lot of things in common. And no,
Yes.
I was not in what I would call a doomsday cult. I was in a evangelistic cult kind of church as well, and I was there for many years. And it's so sad of how they persuade that women were less than. And I
Mhm.
couldn't really speak, even if I knew something better than a man, I couldn't teach him how to do it. And I
Exactly.
remember one time it was a group of us teens, and we always would go bowling. And so one time, nobody but me and one of the guys wanted to go bowling. And after this thing, we told somebody else we went on a bowling trip, bowling, whatever. And I got talking to by the women elders of the church, and I had been the teen leader. I was doing all this stuff. And then after this meeting, they said, because you don't see what you did wrong, you no longer have the leadership position. You are just a regular member now. And him that went with me, he didn't get nothing happen to him. Nothing. So I was the one that was shunned because I hung out with a brother in the church. Because we supposed to do double dates. They
Right.
didn't. And I'm like, we're friends.
We
But
always
they
had to
didn't
have
see it as that.
chaperones growing up. And for the simple fact, and then what did that do to you as a female, knowing that you were the one who did wrong, and you were removed from your position in the youth leadership in your
I
organization?
cried.
But that's what they
Because
want.
I,
They
I had
want
been
the
doing so much for the church since I was like 14 years old. I worked hard to get to the position that I was in.
And
And
how
for
do
them
you
to,
get to
to
those positions as a female? What things do we have to go through? Hoops and
follow
stuff we have
exactly
to,
what they say.
and complete obedience.
If you do anything different, then no. But
But the
I,
men never had to be held to this same level of holiness and godliness and rules and regulations in order to be a leader of a church. It was the women who had to prove themselves by their
exactly,
actions, behaviors, the way they speak, their tone of their voice, and how they interacted with the other young women of their church, whether or not they were looked at as an example or looked at as a Jezebel.
exactly. And it's sad because it was a lot of women, that should be, that have more knowledge and could help men and more, they're not able to.
Yes.
Then you realize that the religion in itself is a corrupt thing.
Mhm.
And why are people still looking at a book that's thousands of years old for their life today? That might have been good in biblical times, but you can cherry pick verses that might stand true, but the book in itself is corrupt. Some of the things that they want you to go through and they want you to do. And it's crazy how they feel that this book is right.
And the difference in what females and males can do. And how I was raised, it was off of the scripture in Jeremiah, see and ask for the old paths. And I often questioned that. It was like, when you go back to the old ways of doing things, they didn't necessarily work. They were forced to work. So when they implemented these rules that were made in biblical times, how does that apply to me as a atheist female or as a Christian female in 2020, 2025? The same ideology and rhetoric that happened in biblical times does not pertain to me as a female.
Yes, so my phone just went hot and it says it has
Oh,
to cool down before I can use my other phone. So luckily I have two phones.
that's smart.
Or I would have been in trouble with this
Right? We'd have to end
live
early.
feed.
Be like, we'll be
Yeah, this
back.
phone. It's like the phone must the temperature. This iPhone needs to cool down before you can use it. And it's never done that before. That's crazy. But
And
I'm
I
here and I'm
often,
working on.
no, and I often say, and I'll talk while you're fixing everything. I often say this too, is that um, when I left Christianity and started my journey, the one thing I said the day that I left is that whatever has happened to me will not make me bitter. It will not make me hard. It will push me forward to help others be able to have a path. Because when I left 20 years ago, social media was non existent. It wasn't a part of my daily life. And I did not start speaking out or feeling comfortable until COVID. And I
That
was
was me.
introduced to TikTok. And then when I realized that I was not alone, and I realized how much energy the churches take to making you feel that you're sinned, that you should be shamed, that you should be shunned, that you should not be a part of or have a voice. That is really what has started to propel me into what I'm like doing today, you know? Um, and it's sad because a lot of times those rules and regulations will be said by the pulpit, but they're enforced by the women of that individual church.
Yes. Yes, that's very true. Because some of the women are like hardcore. And I'm
Yeah, and for
and
me it was easy to come to conclusions that I didn't believe in a heaven or hell, that I didn't believe in angels or ghosts or spirits. I didn't believe in the devil. I didn't believe in Satan. I didn't believe in the Old Testament for sure. And the scriptures and the biblical stories that went on were totally ridiculous to me as I started my journey of deconstruction. But what I found that was always lingering with me is the indoctrination. I was so indoctrinated to different ways of thinking that it has been a challenge over the years to be able to deconstruct those things that keep me from stepping into who I am today.
now I do want to talk about a couple topics. It
Let's
is
go.
mental health awareness month. Your
Mhm.
mental health when you was in a religious cult and how it is now. And how are you coping with yourself and dealing with the trauma
When I
of
was when I
life?
was being raised, mental health was taught that it was a demon, that you're demonically possessed, that there was something wrong with you, and that you could pray away those evil spirits, and you could pray away the chemical imbalance in your system, and that you didn't need medications. What you needed is more faith in God. I was raised in an environment that if you're sick, you've sinned. So if you had a mental health issue, then you definitely were possessed by the devil and you needed to be healed and delivered from it. So it became a service of uh, be it of deliverance for mental health issues. Today, the day, when I moved up here to Michigan from South Florida, one of the first things that I did was to find a therapist. And that was probably the best things that I did. Now, people are like, oh my God, you've been in therapy all your life, pretty much. Um, and in the last year, I've started EMDR trauma therapy. Um, and the difference in trauma therapy and the therapy that I've been in all my life is that with the regular therapy, I was just trying to touch on issues that made it to where I would be able to raise three teenagers, that I would be able to have a point of contact in my mind that would say, okay, this is right, this is wrong, where should I go? I didn't have a mom to pick up the phone and say, oh my God, my teenager is doing this, what am I supposed to do? There was nobody in my life to do that with, except a therapist. But today, now that I'm doing trauma therapy, I realized that there was so much deeper issues that needed to be addressed, but I wasn't ready for the deep issues. I just wanted to figure out how to survive. And, a regular therapist was just putting those things into my head week by week of how to survive. But I think mental health is one of the most important tools that I've ever had while I've been deconstructing my journey to where I am
Yeah,
today.
it's really hard in the Black community as well because
Hmm.
you're taught that my family got to be tough and be telling nobody your business
Mm,
and stuff like that. So you don't want to doing that. And I was going through a lot of things in my life, and I dealt with alcoholism, and I had to but I was functional, still went to work, did everything. I didn't even realize I had a problem,
hmm
and I had a problem, left, the kid father, and then from me not having really anything because he was supporting me the whole time. So I had to go through and get help from these or count these therapy that was low income, whatever. And so one
hmm
of them had me go into mental health. I got diagnosed at the age of 30 with bipolar. And then when I started looking at the things and realizing that, wait a second, this is why I'm doing some of these things. This is the problem why I felt this way. Because I always wondered, why did I do some of those things?
hmm
And then it clicked. And then I realized I was self medicating and I didn't even realize it.
Well,
You know,
Jesus is the answer to everything. So you just
because
needed
it
more
was
Jesus, Kelly, more Jesus.
when I did do that, I was still in the church. And it's one thing that I will say dealing with the church that I went to, and I left the evangelical church. I ended up going to this small, really small Baptist church, Southern Baptist church. And we, when I first got diagnosed with the bipolar, that scripture where Jesus just let all the pig, the man, and they went to the legions of demons, went to the pig. We talked about that scripture. So I'm sitting there like, I'm demon possessed. That's
Hmm.
my problem. And my pastor was like, no, you get help from a proper authority. I don't believe in that. You get counseling. If you got to take medication, you take medication. And the one thing about it is that I've taken so many different type of medications until I found the right combination. So hard.
And
I'm
that's
like,
pretty
what?
fantastic to make sure that we give credit to where credit's due. For a minister to stand up and say,
He
take
was
your
like, no,
medication.
take your medication, get your help. No, I don't believe in no demon and all that, and exorcist and all that.
Hmm.
You, sister, you take yourself and get your help. They are
Right.
paid professionals. So, and I was sort of deep Christian then.
And a lot of
I,
times our ministers in our area, uh, you know, uh, Bible school is not a lot of times how they become ordained ministers.
yeah,
They get a calling on their life. They feel that they're called to preach, and then it's just a simple ordination into the ministry. I remember sitting through many um, ordination services. They never did anything. The only thing they said is they raised their hand. They said, "I feel I'm called to preach."
yeah,
There
that's
you
what,
go.
yeah. Or some
That's what they
people
needed to do.
with their voice, their speaking voice, or you can make a good minister be, because they speak well.
Hmm.
No, but what I did when I did leave the church and I went to this church, I started what you call network churches, and this was a group of different churches and different organizations. And what we did was it was counseling, um, rehab services, and things like that. That me and we kind of worked together. And even though it was Christian based, it was still a safe haven for people to go, because that's the only way what I thought. Because I was trying to help other people that dealt with some of the stuff I dealt with. It was a link to like a domestic violence shelter and things like that that
Hmm.
I communicated. It was linked to counseling, and there were legit counselors, but I worked through that to make sure that people were able to find a safe haven.
And this is why we're doing what we're doing today. This is why you're my fantastic friend.
Yes. So now you got out and you did your journey to realizing that religion is not right, and now you're atheist, secular humanist, what I consider myself as well. What made you now decide to be more of a leadership? What clicked in your head? I want to help more people. What got you
There
into that?
was, women where I was raised, we lowered our head when men talked. We didn't look them straight in the eye. And if we did, we kind of did this thing for to show submission, when a male was speaking. Even in church with the ministers, we didn't stand boldly and like look them in the face. We always had a pose that we would do to show our submissiveness and meekness and being under submission to the man of God. And then, of course, the umbrella is God, the man of God, the men of the church, then the women, and then the children. Um, so I just know that there's other little girls out there that are sitting in a Pentecostal church that I was raised in. And if they ever look me up, I want to make sure that I represent them in a way that they would want to follow, that I live my life in a way that they can say, use me as a lighthouse and say, wait a minute, she did it. Has it been hard? Yes. Some days, there have been days I couldn't get out of bed, but is every day worth it? Every day has been worth it. And it's important I feel, for female atheists to be perfectly okay with saying, I am a female atheist. I am a woman who is atheist, because so many times we will stray away from that word or make sure that it's kind of taboo or make sure that it's not something that we speak our truth to power about because of the stigma, because of the shame, because the churches have taught us so well to be silent, that to find our voice and then to use our voice is a whole brand new experience, right?
Exactly.
But we need to take the shame out of the word atheist. It only
Yes.
says, I do not believe in an Abrahamic God, and I do not believe in the teachings of the Bible that they are the beginning and the end of everything. And today, I can honestly say, for other women out there, right? Join us. Take the stigma out. That stigma is never going to go away as long as we hide behind something else. And women's voices in atheism today is so important for our next generation, as well as for the generation that we're in at the moment.
Yes, I agree with you, because this is one reason why that I'm here today, because I saw the women before me and I said, wait, they're doing it. I can do it too. And it was funny. I was just the leader in this small, in my small little group, and I was happy where I was at. But then once I went to the Arkansas protest, and everybody was like, wait, you have a voice, you can speak and everything. Do
Mhm.
this, be here. And I'm like, do I think that I can even manage it? And then more and more, I started going out, more people started reaching out to me saying they liked what I was doing and they want to be on their interview and be on their show. I don't even know how I'm here while I'm doing this.
But once upon a time,
It,
we would be like, it was God's
I'm like,
will.
no. I'm like, no, I would not. Maybe used to ask me to sometimes host on the show. No, mm-mm. I'm not
I
being
mean,
on no kind of podcast. I ain't doing nothing.
and
I
and
know.
and to me it doesn't matter. The more I speak and the more people understand that my story does not stand alone in these United States. My story is a multitude of women. You can replace my face with many, 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 many women who have experienced religious trauma and have come out on the other side. But it's important for us to know that we can come together, and my voice may not be strong enough by itself, but if I'm with you, Kelly, and if I'm with Jess, and if I'm with other women that are that consider themselves to be atheist, what better way than for us to join hands together and help march this movement forward, and be absolutely okay with any of the backlash that comes from anybody. You're a Christian, I'm an atheist. Nice to meet you. What does it matter?
Yes, exactly. Okay, well, it's about time for us to end, and we will be connecting again. This probably will be a week. I don't know if it's going to be the same time and everything. Maybe it might be a little longer so we can talk about more things. But there are a
It'll
few
work.
things that I do want to discuss. Yeah, me and little Jazz will be connecting again, so you will see her more now. The few
And
things that I do
so
want to discuss.
everybody knows, we can reach out and touch each other right now. We are not just social media friends, we are friends.
We're
So
hanging out
make
right now,
sure.
actually. We're actually hanging out right now. We're going to go
Right.
downtown with the comedy show later on, and we are hanging out. We went to the
I
Ann
am,
Arbor Atheist group. We hung out with them, and now we're going to go downtown and have some fun.
and I am definitely up for fun. But this is going to be continued. If you're interested, please follow me. I'm Jezebel on all social medias. I also have we have a podcast out that's called The Awakening.
Hold on.
I
Let me pull it up. Let me pull everything up. Hold on.
oh
Yeah. You know. Go ahead and finish talking.
oh, and I sit on the board of Michigan Atheist, and I'm proud to be a Michigan Atheist today to help bring the new generation in and to help bridge the generation before us who have put in so much time and so much work and have made it to where I can be here today. So thanks to uh, the atheist individuals in Michigan who have kept our community together. And I will definitely do my best to bridge the gap and bring on younger and newer faces to help keep our organization alive and thriving. Because, like Michigan Atheist says, if you have an issue or if you have a problem and you need somebody, ask an atheist. We'll show up and show out.
Yes, if any questions, please. That's why they do the street epistemology. I can never do anything like that, but it's
Mm-hmm.
very important because many people deconstruct by listening to the street epistemology. Now, I do want to say one thing. This is every. If you don't know me, I won't tell anything about myself. I am the lead affiliate Black Nonbelievers of Metro Detroit. The national organization is having a fundraiser. Now, you can click on the QR code. I'm also going to put in a link. But if we get $15,000, Mendisa and myself will be eating a bag of candy corn, which everybody knows that I despise.
I don't even know if I can watch you. That is the nastiest candy out there. But I will
Isn't it?
come and watch you.
It is so. We have to get $15,000 though.
Whew.
So this is I'm putting it in the chat as well, so you can. This is the link in the chat. Hope I did it right. I think I shouldn't have did the what do you call it?
And if I can
Yes.
say this, Seth, you came in earlier and did a note, but if you're watching this, I love your content. I'm a huge fan. I follow, and I'm so excited to be part of this upcoming or this community that's already established and is there for new voices to come and speak their truths to power.
Now I will do this once again. I want to thank, and she's in the chat now, so I got to thank her again, Jess from
Hi,
Hollywood and
Jess.
Asteroid, who helped me set up my wonderful intro video. I want to
And
thank, I can't
Jess,
thank you again.
there's another little girl over here named Jezebel that needs an intro. You are fantastic. And I can't wait to meet you.
This is Jess link. So please subscribe to her. She has wonderful content. You will love her. I want to show the video again, but I won't do that. But I thank everyone for coming on my first live, and hopefully I'll do a little better next time. It'll be more smoother.
And you know, I love the fact that you invited me, Kelly.
I wouldn't think of anybody else I would want. Me
I
and you
love
have a
you.
connection. Love you too.
Sisterhood, womanhood is so important in our atheist community. And I feel that that's definitely something that you and I can work on, encourage, explore, and bring others into our groups. So thank you, Kelly, for all that you do.
Oh, thank you. Well, this is the end of our stream. It's only supposed to be a half an hour. It might be a little longer, but I know that it's plenty of other atheist counting ACAs and the lines and stuff, and I don't want people to be more into that and I want to watch my stuff. So I thank you for tuning in for my first episode, and hopefully you will come in for the next one. And I thank everyone.
Much love,
Bye.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.